please?
Girl trouble. You?
Boy trouble. Previously, on a girl named Jo. Last I checked, you couldn't stand Alice Hargrove.
If you want my advice, forget baking cakes. That boy needs a good knuckle sandwich.
Have you encountered much discrimination here in Attaway?
Not outright usually, but it's like the other week at Joe's Diner.
Her father's actually in the process of selling that place.
I hear you're a friend of his.
You could say that.
There's something off about her. She's seducing my dad.
We can certainly discuss getting more involved in the business. I think you've earned that right.
What if I told you we didn't have to worry about my father?
I think Henry's double-crossing my dad.
I only wish my Lawrence had such a head on his shoulders.
Why don't I take him under my wing?
I'll get it. Ray?
I need to tell you something. Something about Henry.
What is it?
Is it for me?
When I think back, it was the fight that set it all in motion. The boulder rolling down the hill, picking up speed and threatening to destroy everything in its wake.
Did you pass the salt, Joe?
Oh, but I'm getting ahead of myself. At first it was small. That's always how it starts. Seeds of division from which hatred blooms.
I know her name is Jo. Her last name I don't know. When I close my eyes, I'll visualize this little girl named Jo.
I haven't seen Junior around much lately, Catherine. Is everything copacetic between you two?
So now you like my boyfriend?
Well, I'm glad to hear he still is your boyfriend. We just haven't seen very much of him lately, that's all.
He's a nice boy. Upstanding.
This is about Dwight, isn't it?
We just don't want you to get mixed up in the wrong crowd, dear. That's all.
Joe's just miffed about the diner. We both are.
Well, I don't know what to tell you, Junior. Your Uncle Bobby skipped town again. You two are back in school. I'm just trying to enjoy what's left of my life.
If I may, have you thought about selling to someone else?
Why would I do that?
I heard the banker who's buying it is a bad man. A racist.
What?
I tried telling you that, Dad, but you didn't listen. When she says it...
Let's just wait a second here. You're all jumping to conclusions. Let's just change the topic.
You know, one thing you could say about Findlay Academy is they kept out the riffraff.
Then why were you so quick to leave?
Business waits for no man, sister. As you'll learn one day once you're married off.
You mean the business you've been doing with Lawrence's father?
Easy, Catherine. Your brother's just getting his feet wet. He barely knows Chuckles DuPont.
I saw them doing business together last week at the DuPont offices.
Is this true, Henry?
So, Joe, what are some of your favorite novels?
Excuse me?
Miss Jenkins tells me you're something of a bookworm.
Dangerous Liaisons, Lady Macbeth, and Lady Susan.
Clever girl.
What?
All titles with strong female villains.
Joe.
Oh, it's fine, Tom.
Tom?
No, it's not fine. She can't talk. You can't talk to Debbie like that. I love her.
You what?
I'm sorry, I'm suddenly not feeling so well.
You need to go apologize.
Well, you told me to meet with the bank, which I did. And the banker said we couldn't move forward without DuPont's signature, so...
Why didn't you consult me? I need to call.
Don't bother. He's in New York on business, something you should probably know.
I never should have trusted you.
Are you ever gonna forgive me? I mean, it's been 7 years, god damn it!
Henry.
Forget it. If you'll excuse me.
Forgive him for what?
It's not important. Everything's fine.
Cathy. Cathy. You okay?
Yeah, hey, sorry, I'm just haven't been sleeping lately. What were you saying?
I was just gonna say that I hadn't seen you in a few days, and well, I was wondering if you wanted to see the new flick tomorrow. Dr. Strangelove is still playing at the Passion Pit.
That sounds swell, but I just haven't been feeling good lately. But soon, okay?
A scientific thunderbolt gives a preview of its destructive force. From the instant of that first blast until Hiroshima vanished from the list of living cities, closely guarded plants in New Mexico, Tennessee,
What's going on?
and Washington continued
No lesson today. We're watching a film on the Manhattan Project.
One of Japan's arsenal cities was selected as the first to feel the weight of atomic power. Many of the shattered windows pointed like skeleton fingers the direction of the atomic wind of death. On one side, blown in. On the other, blown out. With atomic tornado force.
How are you holding up in that empty house?
Well, it won't be empty for much longer. Gave the hospital the last of the money I had saved up, so they're kicking him out next week.
Jeez Louise. But wouldn't it be nice to have him home?
Well, I mean, with all the morphine they had him on, it's gonna be tough for Lenny to stay clean. And I cannot handle another crack up.
Well, if there's anything I can do. What are you staring at?
Nothing.
You want my advice? Don't get hung up on your first crush. You're the kind of girl that could get out of this town, out of Attaway.
Nothing would make me happier.
You know, one of these days, I'm gonna take a Greyhound straight to New York City. I'm gonna sing at the Apollo, get my big break at amateur night.
Need a roommate?
Bet your socks I do.
Lawrence DuPont, you're wanted in the principal's office. Immediately.
They did not wonder long because the president delivered an ultimatum. Surrender or face complete destruction. The Japanese ignored the ultimatum.
Come on, Teach. Dog ate my homework. I swear. You'll have it tomorrow, maybe the day after.
Morning, DuPont.
As Trinity detonated, Oppenheimer thought of the Hindu scripture. If the radiance of 1,000 suns were to burst at once into the sky, that would be like the splendor of the Mighty One. To be continued.
You're not so sore at me, right?
Told you. Water under the bridge.
I still feel lousy about it. Instead of cake, how about ice cream?
Aren't you going steady with Junior?
I am, but we're friends, right?
I just don't think it's a good idea. I'll catch you later, Cathy.
Why'd you break in here anyways? your new principal's out to lunch, and I wanted us to have a place to speak freely. You know, man to man. Fitzroy to DuPont. I'll get right to it. Our fathers built this town, and let's face it, they're not getting any younger. But you and me, we need to think about the future. A future where we're in charge. Your old man may pay off drunks, but my father's not a man to be trifled with. That's funny because he didn't say the same about you. Excuse me? Oh, never mind. He just said he wanted me to take you under my wing. Show you how business is conducted. I'm executive vice president.
Picking out bed sheets, yeah, I heard.
I'm not going to stand for this malarkey. Whatever game you're playing, when my father comes home, he'll be getting an earful from yours truly. As you wish. But please, take my number. Just in case. You never know when you're gonna need it.
So how are the lovebirds?
At dinner, he announced that he loves her.
Nuh-uh.
I'm trying my best to like her, but it just doesn't add up.
Maybe it's just that she's not your mom.
Maybe. But it sure doesn't help to have Junior moping around the house.
I'm sorry, Joe. He's a sweetheart, but sometimes it feels like my heart isn't in it.
Is your heart maybe somewhere else?
Well, enough about me. How's your best friend Alan?
Don't ask. I mean, I thought it wasn't like that, but then when I see him with Alice, it's just...
Don't worry about it. I can't imagine when he'd seen her anyways.
Cathy!
I told you for the last time, Lawrence, I'm not interested.
Don't flatter yourself. I'd sooner date that girl.
Take it back, Lawrence.
What sort of trouble is your family causing now, Cathy? The last thing I need is your sniveling brother dipping his greedy hands in my business.
I have nothing to do with that, and you know it.
Go ask your father why he's meeting with Henry.
You better tell me the truth right now!
Lawrence, stop it! Stop it, Junior!
What is going? Everybody stop! Oh my God.
Dwight! Dwight, I think he's unconscious. Someone call an ambulance.
Okay, the police are on their way. All you kids, get to class. Now!
In Attaway, we were raised on a simple belief that America was better, that we were exceptional. Looking back on the 1960s, that was what changed. The bubble burst. We saw cracks in the facade, rot at the core. For the DuPonts or the Fitzroys, there was liberty and justice. But it wasn't for all. The country was coming undone, and so was our little town.
Hiya, Dad. This is my friend, Alice Hargrove.
And she a sight for sore eyes.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Mr. Alvarez.
Did you hear? They're letting you out next week.
I did, son. I just want you to know, this isn't a temporary thing, me not drinking. Once I get out of here, I'm staying sober, Alan. No more booze, I promise. Your friend Alice here's my witness.
I hope so.
It was a pleasure.
Dr. Forrest, dial 118, please.
Dr. Forrest. Please dial 118.
Here's a list of exercises. You're to do them every day to get you up and moving properly again. Here's for the pain.
What is this?
Valium.
Oh, but.
I understand, officer. Well, we'd prefer to handle this here at school, but I understand if the authorities have to get involved, yes. Thank you.
Authorities?
I'm afraid you seriously injured poor Dwight. They're putting his chances at 50-50.
50-50? You mean he could die?
The police are gonna bring you in for questioning tonight. It's gonna be an uphill battle.
Have you been able to reach my father? He'll be able to sort this out.
I'm afraid we haven't. His secretary said your parents were in the Adirondacks for the weekend, visiting your grandmother.
So, what do I do?
If you want my advice, Lawrence, and you mustn't quote me on this, get out of town, run away, and don't come back until this is all cleared up.
But I don't even know where I'd go or what to do.
Think, Lawrence. Isn't there someone you know who's been out of this town? Someone you can call for help?
Is it morning yet?
Just a few more hours, son.
Am I gonna be okay?
Now, don't you worry. It's just a fractured arm. By summer, you'll be right as rain.
Still hurts.
Well, let that be a lesson to you. Next time, no fighting in school.
Sometimes it takes someone else to show you what's been in front of you all along.
Dad, what are we doing here?
I thought we didn't own the place anymore, right?
Look, I still have the keys for a few more days. How about one more triple-double patty melt by your old man, huh?
You know I can't say no to that.
It's been a long, bad day. Why does it feel like we're celebrating?
Because we are.
I know it's a bit controversial, but we've decided to stay together and raise this child together. So we are celebrating. I was hoping that we could welcome the both of them into our family.
Hey. It's Lawrence DuPont. I need your help.
Of course.